80,000 Roman soldiers marched into southern Italy believing victory was inevitable. They outnumbered their enemy almost 2-1. Their commanders were confident that Hannibal and his exhausted army had nowhere left to run. But by the end of that single summer day in 216 BC, the Roman army had suffered one of the worst defeats in military history. Nearly an entire army was surrounded, trapped, and annihilated. More than 2,000 years later, military academies around the world still study the Battle of Cannae as the perfect example of battlefield strategy. How could a smaller army destroy the greatest military power of the ancient world? The answer changed warfare forever. To understand the Battle of Cannae, we must go back to one of history's greatest rivalries. For centuries, Rome had expanded across the Italian peninsula, growing stronger with every victory. But across the Mediterranean stood another superpower, Carthage. Rich, wealthy, and dominant at sea, Carthage controlled vast trade networks stretching from Spain to North Africa. The struggle between these two civilizations became known as the Punic Wars. After losing the First Punic War, Carthage sought revenge. That revenge would come in the form of one extraordinary commander, Hannibal Barca. Instead of attacking Rome by sea, Hannibal chose a path no one believed possible. His daring plan would shock the ancient world and bring the war directly to Rome's doorstep. In 218 BC, Hannibal launched one of the boldest military campaigns ever attempted. Instead of attacking Rome from the sea, where the Roman navy was strong, he marched his army overland from Spain toward Italy. His route led through hostile tribes, dangerous rivers, and finally the towering Alps, mountains many believed no army could cross. Hannibal commanded around 50,000 soldiers, thousands of cavalry, and dozens of war elephants. The journey became a nightmare. Men froze to death, horses slipped from icy cliffs, and entire supply trains disappeared into deep mountain ravines. By the time Hannibal descended into northern Italy, he had lost nearly half his army. But what remained was a battle-hardened force, and Rome had never expected to see an enemy appear from the mountains. Hannibal had already achieved the impossible before the real fighting had even begun. The Romans believed Hannibal's exhausted army could be defeated quickly. Instead, they suffered one disaster after another. At the Trebia River, Hannibal lured Roman forces into freezing water before launching a surprise attack from hidden troops. Months later, at Lake Trasimene, he set one of the largest ambushes in military history. Thick morning fog concealed thousands of Carthaginian soldiers waiting in the hills. As the Roman column marched along the narrow lakeshore, Hannibal struck from every direction. The Roman army collapsed into chaos. Nearly 15,000 soldiers were killed in just a few hours. Rome was stunned. Fear spread throughout the Republic, and many believed Hannibal was now unstoppable. Yet the greatest battle of the war was still ahead. After two crushing defeats, Rome faced a terrifying question. How do you stop a commander who seems impossible to predict? Instead of hiding behind its walls, the Republic chose to assemble the largest army it had ever fielded. Nearly 80,000 infantry and over 6,000 cavalry gathered near the small village of Cannae in southern Italy. Roman leaders believed overwhelming numbers would finally crush Hannibal once and for all. Across the battlefield, Hannibal commanded barely 50,000 men. On paper, the outcome seemed obvious. But Hannibal had no intention of fighting Rome's battle. He had already chosen the ground, studied his enemy, and prepared a strategy so brilliant that it would be remembered for more than 2,000 years. The trap was already set long before the first sword was drawn. On the morning of August 2nd, 216 BC, both armies formed for battle on the dusty plains near Cannae. The Romans followed their traditional strategy. Their massive infantry was packed tightly into an enormous central column, designed to smash directly through Hannibal's line using sheer weight and numbers. Hannibal expected exactly this. Instead of placing his strongest troops in the center, he positioned his less experienced Spanish and Gallic infantry there, while his elite African veterans waited on both flanks. His cavalry occupied the wings, ready to strike at exactly the right moment. To the Romans, Hannibal's formation looked weak, almost vulnerable, but every soldier stood exactly where Hannibal wanted them. The battle had barely begun, yet the greatest tactical masterpiece in military history was already unfolding. As the Roman legions pushed forward, everything appeared to be going according to plan. Hannibal's center slowly gave ground, retreating step by step under enormous pressure. The Romans believed victory was finally within reach. Determined to finish the battle, they pushed even harder, forcing more and more soldiers into the narrowing gap ahead. But this retreat was no accident. Hannibal had ordered his center to fall back deliberately while maintaining perfect discipline. As the Romans advanced deeper into the bulging Carthaginian line, they unknowingly marched into a carefully prepared trap. At exactly the right moment, Hannibal gave the signal. His elite African infantry, waiting silently on both flanks, pivoted inward like two massive iron doors. In a matter of minutes, the Roman army found itself trapped inside a deadly pocket from which there was almost no escape. The trap was now complete. While Hannibal's African infantry closed in from both sides, his cavalry achieved another decisive victory. After defeating the Roman horsemen, the Carthaginian cavalry galloped behind the Roman army and attacked from the rear. The legions were now surrounded on every side. Thousands of soldiers were packed so tightly together that many could barely lift their swords or shields. The crushing pressure became as deadly as the enemy itself. For hours, Hannibal's forces steadily tightened the ring, cutting down trapped Roman soldiers with ruthless efficiency. By sunset, one of the largest armies ever assembled by the Roman Republic had ceased to exist. It was not simply a defeat, it was one of the greatest military catastrophes in human history. The scale of the disaster was almost beyond belief. Ancient historians estimated that between 50 and 70,000 Roman soldiers were killed in a single day, while thousands more were captured. Consuls, senators, experienced officers, and entire generations of Rome's military leadership disappeared on the fields of Cannae. News of the defeat spread panic throughout the Republic. Many of Rome's allies abandoned their allegiance and joined Hannibal instead. For the first time in its history, Rome faced the real possibility of complete destruction. Yet Hannibal made one decision that historians still debate today. Instead of marching directly on Rome, he chose to rebuild his army and wait. That single decision may have changed the course of history forever. Although Cannae became Hannibal's greatest victory, it did not end the war. Rome refused to surrender. Instead of risking another massive battle, the Republic changed its strategy completely. Roman commanders avoided direct confrontation, attacked Hannibal's supply lines, and slowly exhausted his army through years of relentless pressure. Meanwhile, a young Roman general named Scipio carried the war into North Africa, forcing Hannibal to return home. In 202 BC, at the Battle of Zama, Hannibal finally met an opponent who had studied every lesson of Cannae. There, Rome achieved its revenge and secured victory in the Second Punic War. Yet Hannibal's masterpiece at Cannae was never forgotten. Even today, military academies across the world continue to study his tactics as one of the greatest battlefield achievements ever recorded. The Battle of Cannae remains one of the greatest tactical victories ever achieved. More than 2,000 years have passed, yet Hannibal's double envelopment is still taught in military academies across the world. Generals from Napoleon to Eisenhower studied his strategy, searching for lessons that could be applied to modern warfare. Cannae proved that brilliant leadership, careful planning, and tactical innovation can overcome even overwhelming numerical superiority. It is a timeless reminder that battles are not always won by the largest army, but by the greatest commander.